want to make a video real quick, mainly because I'm getting kind of tired of answering the same emails again and again, and I'm not much of a typer, so it's kind of hard for me to type out this long-winded response to people that are sending me emails. Now, I'm getting a lot of emails lately about the chat we had a few nights ago with the anti-gunner. It was on Danable Jones's channel. I think it's Firearms Freedom 2013. A lot of you probably saw it. Well, in this chat, I decided to take a specific method of attack against this anti-gunner. Now, I know I'm usually the person that says, keep your arguments calm, don't yell, blah, blah, blah. And that's usually a good idea. That's the thing I always promote to people, because if you are screaming like a man, people won't listen to you. But there's always gray area in everything. And there's also gray area in that, because when I came into this chat, one of the things Danable said, he said, I wanted you in there because I know you'll calmly address the topic. And I was like, well, we'll see. Because I don't want this guy to get away with what I see so many people in his position get away with, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But while we were in that chat, at the very beginning of the chat, I was talking to this guy before we actually went live, and I was being very nice to him, and I was trying to feel him out. We were talking about, he was talking about what gun should he buy for an investment, kind of hypocritical. But in a way, he'll try to say that isn't hypocritical, because he doesn't want to ban guns. He just wants to make it harder for people to get guns. So, but in the end, you'll see why it's hypocritical. But I was being real nice to him, trying to get a feel of him, and I got a feel of him right away in that chat. And I got the feel right away that this guy is hiding behind statistics and a false premise that, I want to do this for children, I want to do this for people who get killed by guns, I want to stop gun violence. But I'm like, well, you can't divide violence from gun violence. If someone's violently killed, it doesn't matter if it's with a hammer, a bat, or a gun. It's all the same thing. You're just talking a different tool. But they so often want to try to pretend and divide that. So I thought, I'm going to be real nice to him. And he actually made a comment to me that he'd watched a couple of my videos, and he can't really tell if I was on his side or the gunner's side. And I'm like, well, just wait a minute. You're going to find out. So people are wondering, well, you kind of went at him hardcore. And a lot of people that are writing me the emails, they understand exactly what I was doing, and they saw the results of what I did. But there are a few people that haven't understood, so I thought I'd make this video. And what I did is I went after this guy hardcore for a reason. I wanted to get him to where he did not like me. And if you could tell by his tone when he was saying, Yankee there, you're inconsistent, you could tell he was getting to where he didn't like me. And I was getting a little more under his skin and a little more under his skin. And eventually I got him rattled to where he dropped the whole premise of, well, if we got rid of guns, there'd be less violence. And, he used a lot of crappy statistics like, well, since most, gun deaths are mostly suicides, well, that means most suicides are gun deaths. I'm like, well, that's a ridiculous concept. No, it isn't. The highest risk group for suicides don't generally use guns, which is teenagers. Other countries that have higher suicide rates than us, even Canada, Japan, they don't use guns for suicide. So trying to pretend that if guns weren't there, we wouldn't have suicides is ridiculous. And then he kept wanting to say, well, states that have, lower gun ownership have lower gun deaths. Well, he forgets to mention, well, they also have a lot of times higher homicide rates too. But, he kind of glosses over that part, and I kept trying to press him on those logical facts, but just couldn't get him to address them. He would answer questions with questions and move on. So I decided, early on in that conversation, just some of the things he said, like how he tried to justify his opinion, like, I shoot guns, blah, 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 my neighbor has guns. And I could tell right off the bat what kind of person he was. So my goal was to, like I said, get under his skin, get him rattled, get him to present his true self. And he did that when I finally got him mad enough to say, all y'all are a bunch of hobbyists who are okay with killing children as long as it supports you getting to have your toys, or however he worded it. But that was basically the gist of it. And when he did that, he exposed who he was. Everyone else on the panel that was being nice to him at that point saw exactly what he was. Everyone in the audience saw exactly what he was. Even if you're someone who legitimately believes guns are dangerous to society, you at that moment saw, whoa, this guy was on my side, but now I see he's not really fighting for the right reason. He's an elitist who thinks that it's not the guns it's not the deaths that are the problem, it's not the societal issues that are a problem, it's he doesn't like guns themselves, and he likes people like us that have them even less. And that was why I kind of went at him tooth and nail. Everything I do is calculated. If I'm calm, it's calculated. If I'm seeming erratic, it's calculated. When I go into situations like this, I figure out how I'm going to get the best result. Like I said, there's always gray area on how you act. 99% of the time, you're going to get a better reaction from people if you stay calm, if you present your argument and you go on. But with guys like this, presenting your argument wasn't going to do any good because he wasn't going to admit his arguments were wrong when you countered with yours. He was just going to pretend he was right, not answer the questions, and move on. So by getting him flustered, getting him mad, I made him expose himself as the elitist that he is, the anti-gun elitist, the anti-freedom person that he really is. So by exposing him like that, I thought I was doing better than just putting my argument against his argument. So for all those people that are writing me emails, and a lot of you are writing very supportive, the vast majority, 90% of you are being very supportive. You knew what I was doing, and I appreciate that. But the 10% of you that didn't get it, I just wanted to say this because it's really hard for me to type this out. I'm one of these typers. I type with just these fingers, so it takes me a while. So I just wanted to make this video and let you know that sometimes you have to break the rules to get the best result. You ain't even my real dad.